afternoon, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Real News Afternoon Edition. How fun is that? Mr. Henry joining us this morning, or this afternoon. Good afternoon, Mr. Henry.
Good afternoon, sir. How you doing, buddy?
Man, I am living the dream, sir.
Right.
Just enjoying life in lockdown.
Hey, and let's start by addressing the afternoon issue of why we said good afternoon as opposed to good morning. Obviously, David and myself, Shine, as he's better known in this community, we work for this organization up here, and being that we're in the midst of this just like everybody else, schedules do fluctuate. They do change a little bit. Mondays in particular, David and I are going to have to try and figure out something either coming on a little bit earlier than normal or a little bit later than normal. Maybe the same time if we can work some stuff out on our end, but just be aware on Mondays in the next week or so, it may be a little bit in flux. Tuesday through Friday, I should have no problem at all keeping that standard time for you every single morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central. I'll be on here doing it anywhere from an hour to fill in the blank, an hour and a half sometimes, maybe even a little bit longer if the conversation is just good and we don't want to feel like stopping. But yeah, anything you want to add on your end, Sean?
Oh, no, I just want to assure people that, for sure, Tuesday through Friday, we will be 10 a.m. on the Real News page, and also now broadcasting. This is the first time ever. Real News.
That's right.
We're broadcasting on YouTube as well, and on Twitch, but that's kind of ancillary. But we are. If you need to go and check out the Real News Radio YouTube page, go ahead and like that, and look for some special content that won't be on the Facebook page. But we'll be streaming to both of those, so that's good to know, because if the Facebook stream drops or something like that, there's always a backup stream on YouTube that you can jump on. But go ahead right now, just in case that happens, and go to youtube.com and search for Real News Radio. It's got the same logo as the little guy up here, same logo as that, and like us there so you can be connected to the backup stream. So I think that's all the housekeeping. We'll be for sure Tuesday through to Friday at 10 a.m. and we'll let you know later on this week what the Monday schedule will be. But Mr. Henry, I think we should get into the president's remarks yesterday.
Well, wait, real quick before we do that though, let's start like we normally do here. Just want to say shout out to Norm's back in Facebook with us, Kelly, Rick's in there as well. Best audience in the nation appreciation period here, real quick. Let us know how you're doing out there, how you're getting by physically, how you're getting by spiritually, how you're getting by financially. This is a massive community we have an availability to tap into right now. The number of people that watch this later on as well. If you're struggling with anything, if you need help with anything, you feel comfortable to do so. Even if you want some prayer for stuff, throw in the comment section there. We'll be always willing to help you out. Community, watching after community here is what we love to do. Best audience in the nation appreciation segment right there. We appreciate y'all. I know y'all appreciate what we're doing as well. Let's start off the program here with a nifty little thing that Sean and I figured out how to do over the weekend. But we'll start obviously with President Trump himself, just giving us a quick bit of 2-minute address, just letting us know, hey y'all, April 30th, we're in for about another month here of just buckling down, staying in. Sean, let me know if we have any audio problems on your end, but let's get right into this here.
I want the American people to know that your selfless, inspiring, and valiant efforts are saving countless lives. You are making the difference. The modeling estimates that the peak in death rate is likely to hit in 2 weeks. So, I'll say it again. The peak, the highest point of death rates, remember this, is likely to hit in 2 weeks. Nothing would be worse than declaring victory before the victory is won. That would be the greatest loss of all. Therefore, the next 2 weeks and during this period, it's very important that everyone strongly follow the guidelines, have to follow the guidelines that our great Vice President holds up a lot. He's holding that up a lot. He believes in it so strongly. The better you do, the faster this whole nightmare will end. Therefore, we will be extending our guidelines to April 30th to slow the spread. We can expect that by June 1st, we will be well on our way to recovery. We think by June 1st, a lot of great things will be happening. I want every citizen in our country to take heart and confidence in the fact that we have the best medical minds in the world tackling this disease. We have the best science, the best researchers, and the best talent anywhere working night and day to protect your family and loved ones and to overcome this pandemic. With the grace of God, we are rising to the occasion. We are proving that no darkness can overshadow the eternal light of American courage. We will win, and when we do, we will rebound with astonishing force and speed. We will be stronger than ever, and we will have learned so much where something like this can never hurt us to the extent it has, and the world again.
And there you go, Sean. Just a quick update as to where we are with what the president's saying here. And this is part and parcel. This address just coming from the president right now. This is part and parcel of the reason why I wanted to coin today's program, as you see it right there, right in the description of the video. The future has yet to be written. There's a couple of stories we're going to get into here in a minute of an individual, a 101-year-old man who survived being born into the Spanish flu, survived world wars, survived now the coronavirus, right? The future has yet to be written. The sense of optimism that I think we need to be continually focusing on here, continually driving towards, and hopefully, again, Americans for Prosperity giving us some ability to actually tap into stuff and get some action. That's part of what we're going to be talking about today, because I'm telling y'all, I think optimism, focusing on that right now, is not just a real thing right now, but it's timeful, it's purposeful. We can get some major stuff accomplished right here, some major stuff done, reorienting the way that we're thinking, reorienting baselines of everything. It's like I said last week, we're in a shock period. We're in an absolute shock period right now, and during this shock period is the time to figure out what happens after we iron this all out. But again, Sean, just touching directly on what the president said there, he's obviously saying about 2 weeks is what the models are predicting is going to be the peak period of what we're looking through right here. Any thoughts on that and where you're coming from on this?
Well, I guess, I mean, especially considering everything we've heard out of Louisiana and California and Washington and New York, and how easy this virus is to spread, we were going to hear about this being extended as far as the guidance to the states on how to stay safe and not relaxing the current safety things they have in place. We all knew this was going to get extended. I think the question for everybody for weeks is how long. Now, I think I don't know if people are. I think people knowing they're going to be getting some money and some financial help, businesses getting financial help, that has eased the answer to that question. But we've already had why don't you wait for 2 weeks and not make any money, and we'll see where we're at. We're being told again, well, let's look at it. Let's look at it again in another 2 weeks. I wonder how many times we're going to hear that, and how long people will listen, because not even everybody's listening right now. I mean, we've had a problem in Appalachia. There was an article written about it. I think we posted it on Facebook. People are going to their vacation homes all throughout the Appalachian counties here in Tennessee, from Blount County all the way up to up in the Tri-Cities. People staying in their cabins or whatever properties they have, coming from other states and spreading the infection.
Yeah, and this is again one more time while I'm trying to stress with everybody during this period, just as much as you can, calm down, take a beat, take a breath, take a minute, okay? Come hang out with me and Sean in the Discord, do whatever you have to do, but sometimes you're going to run across a few of these headlines, the one that I'm looking at right now, where Bill Lee's talking about, like, I didn't know what was going on in the Gatlinburg Pigeon 4 area, right? So the headline here from WVLT Channel 8, quote, I sent troopers to Gatlinburg. All right, you're hearing stories about Governor Lee sending troopers to Gatlinburg just to sort of get an assessment as to the number of people that are roaming around the streets right now. I suppose the idea being is how many people are actually complying with these safer at home or shelter in place orders. And I use those two words interchangeably to prove this point. Right now, we were at a safer and home order. Again, I can't stress this enough. In Tennessee, we like to proclaim this libertarian stance on everything. We like to proclaim that we don't need the help over the strong arm of the government to force us to do things. If that is true, prove it to people. Don't force Governor Lee to turn a safer at home order into a shelter in place order, because this is, again, Mr. Henry's assessment, personalized, personal version here, Sean, okay? Not speaking on behalf of anything or anyone else. My personal assessment, when Governor Lee sends, what is this, a couple hundred, or maybe not a couple, but he's got 1,000 National Guard troops at the ready, but he sent some National Guard troops to Gatlinburg, and then you get an interview with the mayor of Gatlinburg coming up as the mayor pleads for visitors to stay at home as Governor Lee sends troops to Gatlinburg. This is a little bit of a signaling as far as I'm concerned, where Governor Lee is saying, if y'all can't figure it out on your own, then I'm going to have to figure it out for you. And I don't want to do that. I've tried to do the right thing every step of the way here. And I'm not trying to do any of the sense of fear mongering here. I'm not. I'm just looking at the projections that we're getting right now. If we actually set these mitigating factors currently, we can stave off a lot of this massive problem that some of these modeling figures are potentially giving us. And I'll let you respond, Sean. Then I actually have a video clipped up here from Dr. Fauci whenever we're going to get his response on this. So go ahead.
Yeah, and I would, something I want to do is touch on a couple of things you just mentioned there. It's good to step back, take a break. Don't just sit here and digest the news 24 hours a day. Don't do that.
Yeah.
I took a break yesterday, didn't read anything, and it was really, really healthy. I felt like anyway, it was very good. Another thing is I want to praise the coronavirus task force for being all over the internet over the weekend. They did a lot of great interviews with YouTube collaborators and things like that. It was really excellent. I recommend the Ben Shapiro interview with Vice President Pence and Dr. Birx. Also, Dr. Fauci was on several shows. It was really, really good. But I it there's two competing things here, and I go back to something I heard on the Dave Rubin show. If you're an individual, the risk to you is not very high. But when you're talking to about institutions like hospitals and government institutions, even things like police, fire, and things like that, you're talking about a bigger risk to those institutions if a number of those people get sick. So as we're talking about dangers of people traveling and things like that, that's really not as much something to keep in context, Mr. Henry, is that's not doesn't indicate necessarily a bigger danger for you personally. But what people moving around and the danger of all these people coming from Ohio and New York and Florida and wherever they're coming from and going to Gatlinburg and a lot of these other places, these vacation homes, it's a danger to institutions though here in the East Tennessee area or even over in North Carolina.
Yeah, exactly. And let me just go ahead and catch everyone else up to if we have some more people joining in here.